Alright, so today I'll be talking about basically sharing my story about how I ended up playing college basketball at Division 3. So I'm gonna get right into it and start off with from my younger age wasn't really involved in sports like that. I didn't really start playing basketball at a young age. My parents didn't really get me into playing on any teams or, you know, like really exercising with any like trainers or anything, so I kind of started a little late. I know in elementary school as well, my later years of elementary school, I wasn't really a good player. I was athletically gifted, but as far as being a good basketball player, no. I was definitely one of the worst players out of all my friends. I remember trying out for the basketball team in elementary school and I didn't make it. And same thing with junior high school. I remember had to be like 7th grade, 6th grade, I tried out for the basketball team. I didn't make it either, but I still always played basketball. I loved it. I also played like soccer and other sports as well, so I didn't really focus on basketball, but it was definitely one of my favorite sports to play. So when I get into high school around 9th grade, it wasn't interesting. I was still adjusting to school, but 10th grade, I started to play basketball more, and there was a call by one of the coaches. Sorry, one of the gym teachers. He wanted to find out who wanted to try for the team, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I guess I didn't feel confident enough or something, but I just passed him the opportunity to go try out. And like a few days later, I kind of thought it over. I was like, you know what, I should have went, but at least when I'm a junior, my second year, I'm gonna try out for the team. I'm gonna practice and get better over the summer, which I did. I just played a lot of basketball, a lot of park pickup basketball, like pretty much almost every day whenever I could. Started to fine tune my game and like what I was good at. And in 11th grade, I tried out. I kind of made the final cut where players would practice with the team. So I did that for a couple of days. So I was pretty much on the team, but then I ended up quitting like 3-4 days into being on the team because I really didn't think I can keep up with other players. I got intimidated basically, and I regretted that decision so much. Like a day later after I quit the team, I wanted to go back, but I couldn't, and I was kind of in the same boat like I was in 10th grade, but this time I went a little bit further, and then I walked that way. So I would say over the course from my junior year to my senior year, I definitely worked out even more because I wanted to come back and try out for the team again when I was a senior, because I knew this would be my last chance. And I knew I needed to make the team, so at least when I go to college, I could, have some high school playing experience to show. So tryouts come. I remember the coach embarrassing me in front of everyone at tryouts, saying like, "Why are you showing up again? You really think you're gonna make it? You quit last time." And I was like, alright, whatever. I still tried out. I didn't make the team. And I remember thinking to myself, alright, I didn't make it this time, but I'm definitely gonna work even harder than I did before, because I definitely am gonna make it in my college, because I knew I was going to a junior college, so it wasn't like a high elite level college basketball team, so I know they were going to be accepting walk-ons. So over the next few days, I practiced. I remember attempting to shoot 1,000 jump shots for the first time. So I definitely took up my level of practice. And then like a few weeks later, the coach asked me, "Hey, you want to come on the team?" Because like I know the team at that time, they were short on players and they were looking for some help, and the coach gave me a shot, so I definitely agreed to it and started to practice with the team. I had no intentions of quitting that time. Under no circumstances I wasn't going to quit. So I, basically practiced, gave it my all, and then I showed up late to a couple games because I wasn't aware that we had to show up like an hour early before the game started. So that happened one time, and then the second time, I thought the game was away, but the game was actually home. So, yeah. So with that being said, the coach was like, "All right, that's it. I'm done. Just turn in your jersey." And that was like a terrible moment for me because I knew I wanted it more than anything at that point. Like I had no intentions of quitting, no matter what. And then here the coach tells me, you're off the team again. So that being said, like I'm off the team again. I was upset as usual, but I knew, all right, it's not over at this point because I knew I really wanted to pursue basketball. So I continued to work out. I started to do more drills on my own, work out even harder. Definitely saw an increase in how good I was, and I wanted to prove, to the other players on the team that, I definitely did belong here and I can go far. So I graduate high school and I try out for the team in college when I'm a freshman. So the coach that was there, he kind of already knew who he wanted on the team because his roster was pretty much like stacked. Like his roster had like 15 players, so there was no space for anyone else. But I think he did select like 1 or 2 people from tryouts. Can't remember, but I remember trying out. I felt good about myself going in. I didn't make the team, but I wasn't devastated because I knew, okay, I got way better from high school. Like I knew I was way better. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'm not gonna make it this year, but I'll definitely make it next year. Like there's just no way. I know what I need to work on. I even knew personally that I wasn't there where I wanted to be in the college level, but I felt like I did have a good showing at tryouts. So the following year, the coach gets fired, so there's a brand new coach. So he's basically building a new team. I remember walking in the tryouts and felt more confident than I had the previous year. I make it past the first day of tryouts, then we're supposed to come back. So after the first day of tryouts, I end up going to the park after tryouts and I start practicing on my own. And then I go up for a dunk. I'm running full court, I remember it. And I'm going to take off from my left foot and dunk with my right hand. Then my ankle gives out. And I basically it gives out halfway up and then I land on the floor. And I'm like, damn, I really sprained my ankle again. Because I know, like, in the past, I've sprained both my ankles, like, at least 10 times each. So, I thought it was another sprain. And, basically text the coach, he's like, yo, I'm injured. And he's like, it's fine, it doesn't matter because I wasn't eligible for some reason because of my credits. I don't know where that came from, but, I think I missed a class. One semester. That's what basically made me ineligible. So yeah, basically I got an injury. I got a sprained ankle, and like a week later, I noticed the swelling is still there, and then I end up going to the hospital and I find out that it's broken. So that was annoying. Wearing like a foot splint and walking around for like a couple of months with that. So I'm like, damn, I'm back where I started. And I remember telling myself, all right, you know what? I'm not going to let it stop me. So I started to rethink basketball a little bit at this time because I'm getting injured. I ended up changing my major because I wanted to be a dentist or get into the medical field. So I was interested in science. And I felt much better about this major as opposed to the other major I was doing before. So I'm kind of leaning less towards basketball at this point. I'm like more in the middle between being in the medical field and basketball. So I'm still I still have basketball in my mind. Obviously, I still love it, I still watch it, but I'm getting more involved in school and getting good grades and stuff. And I remember over the course of the summer, after my foot heals, I'm back on the court like usual. And exit that. Alright, so I'm back on the court. I'm working out over the summer. I started driving, so I don't know. I remember there were a few defining moments that made me want to pursue basketball even more. One of them was when I was playing pickup, and I remember this guy bullied me. I guess I've always been competitive, but I remember he did the strong offensive foul on me and knocked me to the ground. And I basically it was like a short exchange of words, and I wanted to get an offensive foul call, but he wouldn't give up the ball. So I was like, all right. And like, I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna like let my game do the talking. So I still try to play through the rest of the game, and we end up losing. And I remember I was so mad at that point that the following morning I came to the gym at 6 a.m. and I started putting up shots like by myself and like working as harder than I ever did before. This is like over the course of the summer of my sophomore year of college. So from that point on, I started like working out like much harder on the court, like doing 6 a.m. workouts, which is something I never did before until that moment came. Also, I remember there was another moment when I was playing in a league. You know, someone saw me practicing in the park by myself, and he recruited me to play on his team. And I remember one time they were doing a full court press, and I got caught the inbound pass. I'm supposed to bring it up the court, but I end up scoring on the other team's basket, and everyone starts busting out laughing. And that was like another moment. I was like, all right. Moments like that made me want to like take basketball like serious and like get so much better than anyone who ever beats me, or kind of like makes a. Well, I take it personally against myself basically when I like fail like that. So later in the year, I tell myself, all right, I start practicing harder and I start focusing on trying to make the team this year. And I know like I'm even better than I was, you know, than last year. And I'm like, all right, there's like no question I'm definitely making the team this year. Like I have it set. There's no way I'm not making the team. So tryouts come, you know, I'm ready. And this is the crazy thing is I get cut like 20 minutes into tryouts when we're doing like layup lines. Sorry, not layup lines. When we're doing like 3-man weave, like passing drills. Like I threw a couple bad passes and like I didn't catch the ball like properly, like one time. And then I remember waiting on the back of the line to continue into the next, you know, the next section of, you know, the next 3-man weave. And I remember the assistant coach coming up to me and telling me something. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay. Which I thought he was giving me advice. And I was like, I was going to say, okay. I face forward, getting ready to step up to be the next, you know, the next group to go and do the drill. And he's like, and he tested me again. He's like, I don't think you heard me. Like, you're cut. You're done. And I'm like, what? Like, that's how, like, I couldn't even, like, process, you know, anyone telling me that I'm couldn't make the team. I didn't even hear him say that. I was just so focused on like getting back out there and doing the drill that, you know, it didn't really like hit me like what he said. So I remember walking over, sitting down. I remember sitting down for like 10 minutes while everyone else was still like trying out and like thinking to myself, like trying to process it basically, like trying to put it together, like what just happened. And you know, I get my clothes on, drive home. I remember sitting in the car for like 30 minutes after I got home, like trying to think about it, like trying to let it sink in basically. And yeah, man, it was a tough time. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna put it behind me. For now, I'm gonna just move on, keep doing my schoolwork. I was doing great in school at that point. You know, I had a lot of different things going on. But then basketball it still never left me. Like that thing, it always stuck with me. It was like, wow, like, all right, I didn't make the team again. That was like a defining moment. Another one. I would still always like work out. I know like I still wanted to play basketball, and I was about to graduate in like a month or so. Start to think about it. All right, after I graduate, I'm gonna have way more time that I could dedicate to basketball, as opposed to me having to dedicate a lot of my time to being in school. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna transfer to another college because I got my associate's degree. I was like, what if I make the team when I transfer to another school? So this would mean instead of me going to another school right away after I graduate, I would take the whole year off, use that time to get better at basketball and just work, just to have some money. And eventually make the team, you know, like basically like prove everyone wrong. And a lot of my professors thought I was crazy, even at my job at this because I worked at the school as a tutor. They laughed at me. It was like, you really think you can like play pro basically, or like play college at the Division I level? And that like motivated me even more, you know. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna be a doctor. I don't want to spend most of my life working towards something I don't really want to do deep down. I want to at least follow my passion, you know, like be able to look at myself at the end of the day and know that I'm doing what I really wanted. So I went for it. I took a year off from school. This was definitely like the best, hardest, like most mentally challenging year of my life. I started working out with a trainer. You know, I remember standing outside his apartment door like for like 5 minutes thinking about, damn, I'm really about to go in here again, because his workouts were insane. Like I knew that the shit I was doing was head and shoulders above what even other college basketball athletes were doing. So like I know like I took myself to like another level where I just had like this peace of mind where it was like, all right, I know I'm giving 110% every day. I'm doing the work, you know. I'm doing like 500 push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups, and squats every other day on top of this shit I'm doing with him. Like I know I definitely took my body to another level. So you know, I'm playing in 4 different leagues at once. Like it was crazy. It was a fun year. I remember even getting dunked on because I started playing with real players, like players who played at the next level. So I was forced to step up my game. And I remember getting dunked on by like a high school student one time at one of the best high schools in New York City. I remember I used to work out with that team. So that was really like moments like that I needed throughout the year to take my game to the next level. So I remember getting close to tryouts when I finally transferred. Tryouts were at 7 a.m. I remember leaving my house at like 4 a.m. and sitting outside the school from like 5 a.m. to like a couple hours just sitting outside the building because I wasn't allowed inside the school because the school was pretty much closed. The school opens at 7 a.m. So I remember sitting outside the school, you know, barely slept, out there in the cold with my bag, waiting for the doors to open. I had no fear at this point. Like I knew deep down that I was making the team, like no matter what. I've talked to the coach before. I've worked out with the players. I've played with them, and I held my own on the court with them. So like they knew me. They knew what I could do. So like I'm almost guaranteed to make it. I wasn't even worried about the competition at this point. You know, it's like when you reach like a point of peace, then like you pretty much know like you're gonna make it. Like I knew I was ready. I was like made to make that team. I would walk around the basketball court alone and like envision myself being in a uniform. I walked around the gym and everything. Like I knew that moment was made for me. So tryouts came, you know, performed well, and you know after the coach made the announcement, I made the team. Yeah, I was happy, but I was definitely happy. Yeah, but I also knew that it was bound to happen. So I took it. I remember I went back to the gym later that night, another gym near my house, and I just put some more shots, worked out a little bit, and yeah. So I remember going home, officially a member of the NCAA, and that's pretty much, you know, my story of how I made it to D3.